What's going on, guys? And welcome back to Footy with an Edge. We're here to talk about the West Ham preview. Can Michael Carrick make it 5 wins in a row? And can that damn guy get his haircut already? Because those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm just going to do a real quick sound check. Yeah, looks like it's good. So, why am I saying that West Ham is going to be a tough game for us? It's because when I look at their form, their recent form, they have won 4 out of their last 5 games, guys, in all competitions. That includes one game in the FA Cup against Queen's Park Rangers, I believe. Let me just get their form onto the screen right here. So their next match is against us, obviously, but you can see these 5 games in a row. They beat QPR 2-1, Tottenham 2-1, Sunderland 3-1. They were leading 2-0 against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea had a remarkable comeback to win that game, and they probably should have at least drawn it. And then they beat Burnley 2-0 as well. So this is not a team that is destined for relegation. This is very much a team that's going to stay up. And recently, the 2 players that they've signed in Castellanos and Pablo, these 2 guys have been very good for them. So this is not a team that we can take lightly at all, right? 4 of their last 5, like I said, the stoppage time winner from Enzo Fernandez got them the loss at Chelsea. Performance-wise, was arguably their best performance despite the loss. Now, in terms of key players that are that we need to look out for, right? I'm gonna go take a look at their team here, and Valentin Castellanos. Now, this guy was purchased in January, I believe, on the same day that Ruben Amorim got sacked. The only reason I know this is because I was looking at their recent form since Amorim got sacked, and there's some interesting stuff right there. So I'm going to take a look at that. But Valentin Castellanos is playing as their striker. He has been very decent for them. He scored 1 goal, and he started all 5 of the games that they've played since he was signed as their starting striker. And this is somebody that we definitely need to look out for. And, you know, make sure we're not taking this too lightly. If you guys are just joining the stream, please drop a like, help a brother out. So Valentin Castellanos, this is an important player for them. If we go take a look at the rest of their squad, another player they've just signed is this guy named Pablo. He's a Brazilian striker / attacking midfielder. He's just about 6 foot tall, and he has been also very decent for them, right? He started 3 games for them. He's come off the bench for 2 of them, and he's been playing. Nuno's adapted to a 4-4-1-1 shape, and Pablo's been playing as the attacking midfielder a lot of times, right behind Castellanos. So these 2 players, we need to watch out for them. Outside of these 2 guys, the one guy that is in crazy, super hot fire form, as they say, is Mr. Crescencio Somerville, right? Somerville, in the last 5 games in all competitions, has 5 goals, right? He's got a goal in every single one of the last 5 games. So against Burnley, he got a goal, Chelsea, Sunderland, Tottenham, and Queen's Park in the FA Cup. And he also got an assist in that game and was man of the match. So this guy has been on crazy hot form from the left wing, and this is definitely somebody that we need to watch out for. Hopefully the live chat is working, because I'm not seeing a lot of chitter chatter coming across from you guys. But anyways, so Somerville is someone that we need to watch out for. And again, that's, I guess, Dallo, Casemiro, Ahmad on that side. I'm not really too worried per se about this. The whole point is that it's not one player that's a concern. It's that this is definitely the team that sits back and tries to counterattack. If we go look at their last 5 games, I should have all of them here. Look at this. Against Queen's Park, okay, they were playing against, not a Premier League team. They had 67% possession. Against Tottenham, which is, arguably not a Premier League team. But banter aside, they had 38% possession and 2.85 XG. They only scored 2 goals. And you can see how many shots they had inside the box, right? Just playing on the counterattack. Then we look at the Sunderland game, which should be more of a head-to-head game. So it is, according to the possession stats. So it's 47% to 53% against Sunderland. But we have, what's it called? Them having 1.52 XG versus 0.67. And I don't believe there was a single penalty for them. Or there was one penalty. Okay. So including the penalty, they're about level with Sunderland, maybe, because it's 0.79 XG right from a penalty. But regardless, they got the job done, right? Which means they are good at playing on the counter. They are good at making things happen. Then we look at the Chelsea-West Ham game, and this is the one where they really dominated Chelsea in the first half, and they ended this game with 29% possession. But in the first half, look at this. They scored 2 goals from 0.51 XG, and this is not a team that you mess with. They had 6 shots, 4 on target. Nuno teams in general are very adept at exploiting you on the counterattack, sitting deep, soaking up the pressure, being compact, right? Very, I know I'm sounding very Michael Owen-like in my analysis, but that's what it is. There's nothing, you don't need your coaching badges done to understand how Nuno wants to play football. And this is what we're going to expect, right? He's going to have like 35% possession, and we're going to have most of the ball, which means we need to make sure our box defending is elite. We need to make sure when we're holding a high line, we don't make stupid mistakes on the ball. And it's going to be a repeat of the Tottenham game in many ways, especially after Romero got sent off, because we could have been exposed on the counterattack. And I actually think West Ham are going to be better than Tottenham. Tottenham's issue was that they didn't really have any fast players to break on us. Whereas if you look at the West Ham lineup, they have Bowen, who's not the most rapid in the world, but he is fast. Somerville, who is rapid. They have Wan-Bissaka and Juve, who are fast enough to get up. And Souček and Mateus Fernandes are certainly good enough to find the long ball in behind. So is Todibo. Right now, I believe Todibo has served out his suspension. Does anyone know if Todibo got suspended for 3 games? Let me just take a look at West Ham here. Is Todibo suspended? It looks like he might be. Yeah, look, he probably got a 3-match ban for like excessive use of force or whatever. So it's going to be Disasi and Mavropanos, but they still have enough to find the ball in behind, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. And I believe Pablo is fit as well, so they could start with Pablo as well. We'll see. And that's essentially the danger that we have. This is, you could expect West Ham to play very similarly to how Brentford played against us, where they had like Henderson trying to find Thiago and what's that guy's name, man? The German guy, Kevin Schade, on the left-hand side. So they have some players that can run in behind, and we can expect them to do that against us as well. We have got some second and third language conversations going on in the chat, guys. Let us also know what you guys are talking about. Samurai A6Y says Wan-Bissaka will start to dribble like never before. Absolutely possible. But anyway, so that's kind of what we should be worried about in terms of West Ham. And like I said, not to be taken lightly. Their January signings are making an impact. Somerville is in crazy, super hot fire form. And if we look at understat as well, guys, this backs it up, right? So this is the full understat table. And West Ham are 18th right now on 23 points, just 3 points out of the drop zone, just behind Nottingham Forest. And if we look at the expected points table, where are West Ham? West Ham are 17th, right? They're slightly above Nottingham Forest, like half an expected points above them. But the reason to be afraid of West Ham is not the whole table from 25 games. It's actually from the last 5 games. And the reason I bring this up is because since Amram got the sack, it just happens to be, from the next day onwards, West Ham are 4th in the table, guys. I don't know if you can see this properly. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. Yeah. West Ham are 4th in the last 5 games, right? They have 3 wins and 2 losses. They've accrued 9 points. And based on goal difference, I believe they are ahead of no, even points. Goal difference and points, they've done better than Arsenal and Man City in the last 5 games. So this is something we need to be wary of. And they have scored, what is it, 10 goals and conceded 7 goals against. And again, the Chelsea game is the one where they probably shouldn't have lost it, but they lost it anyways. And in the last 4 games, they have 3 wins and 1 loss. So this is a team we need to be worried about. This is not a team we take lightly. And outside of us, Chelsea and Bournemouth, they are the informed team. So I would not, this is kind of the worst time to be playing them. So that's one way to say that if we do manage to win this game, this is a true test of Michael Carrick, of Holland, of Evans, of all the entire coaching staff. I think this will be, them passing with flying colors. And honestly, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for us to go into what seems like an easy game, but is actually a very tough game. And you just know that Wan-Bissaka is going to be, on his best form. Whoever the goalkeeper is, I don't even know who he is. It's like some NPC right here. Hermanson, right? Who is this guy? No idea, right? But he'll make sure he has the best game of his life against us as the goalkeeper. And we know that's going to happen. So all around the park, guys, I'm telling you, this is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, and it's away for us. So we have to be ready for this. Now, if we want to go slightly beyond and look at their XG stat, let's take a look at some of their player stats here to see who's overperforming, who's underperforming, because this is always interesting to me as well. Okay, so you got Bowen with 8 goals from 6.94 XG. Let's just sort this by goals here. Okay. This is for some reason not working. Let me see here. Okay, whatever. So the 3 top scorers are Bowen, Somerville, and Wilson, and all of them are slightly overperforming their XG. You have the XG underperformers when you get to like Socek, Castellanos, Mavropanos, Kilman, like all of these NPCs that they have in their team. Nightwing says, if we win tomorrow, I'll give 5 memberships. If Shaylin weren't traveling, he'd probably do the same. Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, honestly, for me as well, I will give 5 memberships if we win tomorrow during the watch along. So if you guys are watching now, make sure you're there during the watch along, because we're all gonna give some memberships. But yeah, so this is interesting, right? In terms of their threats, it's Bowen, Somerville, Wilson. They probably all start tomorrow alongside Castellanos in the front 4. Mateus Fernandez is also a very good player. He's got 3 goals from 1.2 XG and also 2 assists from 1.69 expected assists. This is definitely not a team we should be taking lightly, like I said. So transitions, a big concern for us. They're going to be focused on a lot of switches and balls in behind, early balls to Castellanos. We need to have a compact rest defense. We need to make sure we get control of second balls. This is going to be a physical game, and we need to make sure we don't leave Somerville isolated against Maguire, because that's going to be a recipe for disaster, just like we saw Shada again in the Brentford game. I believe Maguire started that. Yes, he did. And so, yeah, like the threats are pretty basic, but also dangerous, right? Because we know what to expect, but we've lost to these teams before, and it'll be a very disappointing way to end this 5-game stretch under Carrick, because I think we all just want to see Carrick doing well. I think we all want to see the players getting the confidence they deserve. For far too long, they've been kind of meandering around, wherever we've been in the table, and this is a great opportunity for us to make it 5-5 and really send a message to the to the entire league that we're here to stay as a team. Now, guys, all that being said, let's open up the lines. Let's have a chat with some of you guys. I'm just going to paste and pin the StreamYard link if you guys want to come talk about the game. I'm taking all takers and definitely interested to see your thoughts on the game. And let me start a poll as well. All right. We got Ed here. Ed, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How are we feeling about this game?
Feeling very good. The only thing that worries me is the Suchek late runs. Believe it or not, I think that's their biggest goal threat. Because the fucking guy is just inevitable, right? Like every game you
Interesting.
watch, he's always in like one of these weird positions you don't expect a 7'8" guy to be.
Yeah.
And he's this like deceptively fast because he has like long strides. And even on corners, he just always seems to find himself somewhere where he's a danger. So for me, that's like their most dangerous player. I know Somerville is like their most informed player, but I still think Suchek is like the one that's going to cause us the most problems out of everybody. And
Yeah.
it's in my opinion, this is unpopular take, even though I don't like him. I think Ugarte is better for this game than Casemiro.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
Just gets back a lot faster when they do transition. So
But don't you think that's the problem with Ugarte is always that he does improve you on transitions, but also keeps giving the ball away, so it forces more transitions.
yeah, but if when he gives the ball away, if he just doesn't do it in those areas that he's prone to do it in, I don't mind if he gives the ball away in their half, but I do mind when he gives the ball away in our half with one of his dumb passes. But I think his cover for Maguire against Somerville, because it's gonna happen, where Delo is gonna be playing that inside full back in their half. He's gonna lose the ball. Casemiro's never getting back to help Maggie, and I think Ugarte will.
But
So
isn't the easier solution to drop Maguire?
Maguire for who?
Well, Heaven can play, Euro could
Heaven
play.
can't
Like
play on that side.
he's played there as he's played as a central center back before.
I
That's not
understand,
really
but he's also left-footed.
Euro can play there.
Yoro's gonna get skinned as well. Yoro is like deceptively slow in my opinion. I think for what he is, he should be a lot faster than what he's shown. His
I
catch-up
mean, it's
pace
an
is not that
interesting
good.
point because it's both Casemiro and Maguire are slow. So which one would you choose to drop? And I just think as good as Maguire has been, it's the same problem that we had before the Brentford game, which is he does give you better box defending, but he is horrible at playing the high line. That's the concern because even with Ugarte, I can see Maguire really struggling on the high line. That's the problem.
But we haven't played a high line against any of those teams in this span. We didn't
We
even play a
played a
high
high
line
line
against
against Brentford. We played a high line against City as well. Both of those games, Maguire started.
We did no. We've never played a high line. It's always been mid. We've never actually played like a high.
I mean,
line.
if you're playing on the halfway line, like that's a I consider
Well, I
that a
mean, your
high line.
center backs have to push up on the halfway line when you have teams pinned in. But
Yeah.
in defensive transition, you're not playing a high line.
Anyways, I it's an interesting point. I think Maguire versus Casemiro. It's an interesting question for me. I would still choose to, if we have to drop one of them, I would still choose to drop Maguire instead of Casemiro. But I can see the point you're trying to make. I think maybe if you're that worried about the defensive side of things, maybe Casemiro and Ugarte work well. But Mainu's been in good form. I don't want to drop Mainu either.
No, you don't. To be honest, I just think we keep the same team. It's
That's
been
probably what he
working.
does.
It's. I don't think we should be too the other teams couldn't hurt us. I just think this game should be one of
What's
those.
up, Sean?
What's good?
What's up, man? Did you have some pack to shave your beard after 4 wins?
No, I just wanted to be a little bit proactive because that United Strand guy. I don't know. I hate that guy, honestly. That's
You look
sparking
like you
cool.
also shaved your head, by the way. So I don't know. Like,
I did
you
actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I got rid of it. I got rid of all attachments because people said that I was looking like Amram, right? Yeah, no, I'm not about that. I survived him.
You're out in West Hollywood with no body hair. I see. Interesting choice,
brother. I'm not taking off any more articles of clothing, man.
Look at that! I gave my cat also made a pack out her hair
Golly.
after 4 games. This is her hair that I got caught off.
That's crazy. Could you like breathe? Could you breathe better? Because like that shit just gets in the air.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like she's like a cross between a domestic long hair and like a Maine Coon, I think. It's what was ChatGPT's best guess, so I'm gonna go with that because the vets don't know shit, right? They were just like, oh, she's some breed. And every time around the winter when it gets cold, she grows an absurd amount of hair. Like her neck is like she's got a huge mane. It's crazy. So I have to trim it off. Otherwise, she keeps puking like hairballs and stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's too much.
Because she's trying to clean herself. So yeah, that was the main reason. For us, it's fine. Like we're used to it. We're thankfully not allergic.
Yeah.
But
so what are we thinking about the game?
Richard said you're the Timu Amram.
I'm the Timu Amram. Who the fuck is Richard? Hold on.
This is the guy that wanted a hat trick of assists for Bruno.
Richard. The Timu Amram. Hat trick for Bruno? Yeah, that guy's lost in the sauce, brother.
Hat trick of assists. Hat trick of assists. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
he wanted to break the assist record. So what are we feeling about? Also, where's Nelson? By the way, Nelson, bro.
No, he'll come. He'll come for sure.
So how are we feeling about this game?
Easy win. 3 points. Easy. So easy for us.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be missing what? So it was. Nuno said that it was either Somerville or Matheus Fernandes or Diouf that's out. Any of those 3 just completely stifle any type of like progression in their attack. So they're going to be like laying low. They're going to be counter pressing.
Diouf would be the biggest impact because he's a big on their defense, right? He's very good. Yeah,
Somerville's nuts. That guy is like he's kind of like their Illiman and Diaye, but he's even quicker, pacier. He's insane. I'm
confident. His confidence is at all-time high.
I've signed him on FM in 2 saves. I'm evoing him on EAFC. Like I'm a big Somerville guy. Like
yeah, but he's a little bit like Purple Patch Somerville. You know, like he's like he has this every season where he'll go hot and cold.
Well, he came from Leeds, right?
What's that?
He came from Leeds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So. I mean, he went from a shit team to another shit team, but a little bit better of a shit team. And now he's just performing pretty well based on like the last 5 games. That confidence is a thing. Are we playing that at home or away?
It's away.
It's away? Yeah. I think Somerville would be the one guy that I'm hoping is not there. Because Matheus Fernandes, I think we were all talking about it like prior to his move from Sporting there this summer, that he was like my dark horse, like because I knew how much he enjoyed Bruno as a mentor, and just in general, like when it came to carrying ability, he's kind of like a jack of all trades. I think he's going to be the next guy like this summer that people are going to be talking about in that whole like Wharton, Anderson, Baleba mold. That kid's special. Diouf, he's kind of fallen off just a little bit. Everyone was saying, guys, this guy is unreal. The beginning of the season,
no, but him and Coyote, I would say like best newcomers to the Premier League.
Don't get started. Don't get started on Coyote with me, man.
Coyote is below average.
Those 2 guys
music's my ears. That guy is worth 60 million.
Coyote is below average.
He's a one-trick
pony.
He's so good. No, beyond that, he's physical. He's made it in a tougher league.
He's Arteta's wet dream, by the way, as a defender.
Yeah, we know that.
I'd be very surprised if Arsenal don't go for him.
The youth is immense for them, and I'd rather them not have the youth because it's going to allow us to perform better in attack. I'm not really too worried about Somerville. Like I said, I think we keep the same team. And I don't think they do anything, to be honest, even though they are playing at home.
Harry Wilson was quiet. Harry Wilson, didn't he have that shot on goal? I think that free kick was pretty nice. He wasn't that bad. Wilson is like one of the best informed players in the league from center mid. So, I mean, I worry about
Wilson.
Somebody mentioned that. Oh, no, that was Rishi. Rishi mentioned Wilson. No, I mean, we got to fear the players that are in form in the league. If you perform well in this league, like, you're good. If Somerville's playing, I'm worried about him. Just because Ndai didn't do the business against us doesn't mean that, like, we just disregard players that are doing it against other teams. So
yeah, but I see the game state that I see us, let's say, drawing or losing this game is one where we go back to like our previous finishing boots, if you know what I mean, where it's like, you know, some good chances come out, there's last ditch tackles, or you know, we get unlucky in one way or another, and then they break on us, right? So that's where the second part of that is where you're worried about Somerville. The first part of that is where I'm worried about Doof, which is he's going to be an essential part of us not getting any change in the final third.
That's under the assumption that West Ham play with some type of onus to produce at home. And I just don't think they have that in them because their whole game style is based upon counter-pressing. And if we are creating so much positional overload because we're not so rigid anymore in the way that we structure up, I think we're just going to have that little chip by chip getting into their side of the half. But I don't understand why people are so doom and gloom about Maguire and Alicia as like a back pairing. Like, okay, yeah, Somerville does have pace, but who else do they have in terms of like attacking ability? Is Gerard Bowen, of course. He's somebody that we all.
He's the only decent one in my opinion. Gerard Bowen, like Somerville's on insane form, like just something that you can't replicate, but
even then, so due to how Nelson, due to how the fullbacks like in this Carrick system, we've seen Dello just be more of a inverted like the way that he gets in line. We are super compact out of possession. So I'm not like looking at it and like these guys play super wide, they're going to be channel running, and then they got the person to release them. Instead, like you said, their attacking phases, once they integrate Diouf, if they get Matheus Fernandes breaking lines, and then getting it out into those kind of like outlet channels in a more structured approach from the middle phase to that phase, rather than just like breaking free mid-phase transition ball. Like, I'm not concerned with them transitioning against us. So I'm not concerned about having a quote-unquote slower, more box defending type defenders because I don't see them in any way having any control over this game, like at all.
No, but the problem is, I'll tell you what, right? In the Tottenham game's a really good example to use because I think the game state after they went down to 10 men, we will see a lot more of that where we're trying, you know how like Kobe Mainu was trying to be like the screener in front of their midfield to try to find some space for Cunha and Bumo, Bruno, all of those guys, right? Because the ball kept going between Casemiro, Mainu, and Martinez before we found some space to move the ball vertically, like in the final third. So in that kind of area, if we lose the ball and the ball comes to Gerard Bowen and, you know, Somerville's making the run on Maguire's side, that's the concern, right? Because
did you notice in that game so instead of having Shaw be that like wide just like withholder, we were almost in two banks of three and then four, and then we get that final guy holding with. Like, I think we're gonna see more of that same.
Shaw was holding with more than Dallo was.
A little bit. No, you're right. Like, Dallo was just inverting and going and then being kind of like the disruptor. But like, I think Shaw, we've noticed that he's one of our best distributors in the back line. Like him and Licha, in terms of ball progression, they're the best ones. Like from passing.
Well,
I think if you have Shaw supporting more instead of being that width guy, we're going to have a lot easier time controlling the game. But if we think we can just go in there and just have basically like a Pep style, two at the back is just Licha and Maguire, and then we got Delo going inverting like a 2-3-5 or a 3-2-5, I don't think we're going to see that state too often. I think we're going to kind of goad them into holding the ball a little bit more and still hitting them because we're just so much better from an attack.
Well, what we're really good at right now is actually the direct counter to how they try to play with their counter press, with the tiki-taka and us playing out of the press. I think that's our best attribute right now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't allow them to play they want to play, right? So, and as we saw, we're very good now when people try to build up on us. We set up very well. There's high work rate.
Yep.
So any way they try to play, we're going to be able to counter it.
And
We've
to
shown
be
it before.
and all the defenders that you're talking about, Diouf and Wan-Bissaka, they're back foot defenders. They're not front foot. And against people like Ahmad and Cunha, that's an issue.
Guys, we haven't even talked about their defenders.
Yeah, their defenders are not good, by the way.
Their central defenders aren't good. Their wide defenders are good. Like their fullbacks are good.
Yeah.
The problem I have, Nelson, is that they are back foot defenders and they're going to be on the back foot because they're going to give us the ball. Like they have like 30% possession in most games. And as much as I loved our performance against Tottenham when we had most of the ball, I was not concerned at all, even after the red card, because it seemed like we had control of the game. And I want to believe that West Ham players are better than Tottenham's, but they're not. Right? On paper, they're not. The only difference that West Ham have objectively over Tottenham is that they have more pace on the break, right? Because Tottenham had no pace. And Somerville is the one guy I'm worried about. The connection I'm worried about is the ball breaks out on our left-hand side.
Yep.
So let's say Shaw or somebody else gives it up to Bowen, and he plays a cross-field ball to Somerville, and then maybe a cutback into Bowen again, or Wilson or somebody like that, something like that is what I'm worried about. Because honestly, they don't have Todibo in this game because of the suspension. And that's a big win for us because Disasi is crap. Like Disasi is like, he can't pass the ball.
Well, they did have Odobert, who's all pace, but they just didn't use him at all.
Yeah.
And they had a faster midfield.
He got subbed, right? When the red card happened.
Yeah, but even when he was on. Yeah, he's on.
Fair, but I'm saying the game state I'm thinking about is the Tottenham game after the red card is going to be very similar to West Ham, even with 11 players.
Yeah.
When are we're due to score a shit goal. We've only been scoring nice goals. I think we're due to score one of these Arsenal goals too here pretty soon.
Maybe. Can we talk about I wanted to bring this up with you guys. There's a lot of credit going around for Carrick because he's the head of the snake. I want to talk about the other guys that are in the coaching staff as well, because I'm thinking there's a huge impact from Holland as well that's making Carrick even better than he was under Ollie and better than he was at Middlesbrough. Because there's a lot of this Rondo stuff, this sideways tiki-taka. I don't think it's all coming down to Carrick, even though a significant portion of the credit can go to him. So does anyone here know who we should be looking at as like...
I think if there's one person to speak about it, it's Ed. Because this guy signed Holland in FM as his coach. But even beyond that, like...
I think the guy has a phenomenal footballing brain. And I think he brings a lot of calmness as well. I know we think Carrick brings a lot of calmness, but I think Holland is also there and directing the ship, as we can say. I think there is a daytime shift in Carrick and a nighttime shift in Holland.
Isn't he also like the bad cop?
Yeah, he's like old school, expects a lot from the players, which is what you need. And Carrick is more of the soother, right? Yeah. Like, oh mate, maybe you should have done this. And Holland's like, oh, you fucking cunt, you should have done this, right? I think it's
he's Australian now.
He's Australian, yeah. He's
whatever he is, man.
He's this as a freaking.
Yeah, but I think he brings a lot. Yeah. It just proves how important it is to have a complete coaching staff instead of just the manager. Because we saw with our old manager, the way they were warming up with Onana, where the goalkeeping coach was just throwing the ball at Onana's nuts.
Yeah. I'll give Amram props for Carlos Fernandes. I think that guy is probably the pick of the litter of all of his coaches. Like they really took to him, and he wasn't just a set piece coach. Like he had a little bit more tactical nous. But no, this Holland guy. Look at his pedigree. Look at what the people that he's coached with. And then he's solely responsible for our out of possession rest defense. And I think that's the number one benefit that we've seen. The compactness that we've shown, like in defense, and then not being afraid to remain compact in different sides of the pitch and having overloads from a flexibility standpoint has allowed Carrick. It's almost like it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like you get Carrick coming in as a peanut butter, being like that glue, the midfielders coming in, and then I'm going to stop with the food.
That's such a Brexit. That's such a Brexit analogy. I love it.
Sorry. I should have said mushy peas and like gravy or some shit.
Yeah.
But but Carrick is that. So when we're talking about rondos wise, I'd actually say that's more Carrick. Because if you see him like kind of put his arm around the shoulder of a lot of the players, especially as they're coming in, he's saying specifically, show your body like this. Like, that first training session that I always alluded to with Amram being like, he's telling Kobe how to do this. Well, now I'm remembering Kobe's Instagram post of the one drummer movie. Like, I think we should have taken it more literal at the time, because the guy was like throwing chairs at the drummer because he wasn't following instructions perfectly. I think that's literally how Kobe felt. He's like, you're telling me to do this, but then you're also telling me to exist in different areas of the pitch. And we're so structured and rigid that like, I'm only one of me. Like, we needed 2 world-class midfielders to like maintain that much space. So in the Carrick system, because he's not afraid of having players drift from that positional rigidity, we're seeing a lot more just, one-touch passing, boom, boom, and directness. And I love it personally.
You know what's interesting with the Kobe situation? I think it's a dual thing that's happened. I do think he has improved defensively because people seem to think if somebody's not playing and he's only training, he can't improve as a player, which is obviously false, right? No. And what did we hear under Amram is that both him and Bruno were playing for the same position. Yeah. So if we are willing to accept that Bruno's gotten better defensively, then why can't Kobe get better defensively under the same?
Because he hasn't. Wait 1 second. I actually spoke about this and I wanted to bring it up. Kobe's defensive numbers have actually gone down. If you look at last season and the season before, there's still streamlets that have that information. You can check. His passing numbers have regressed. Like, he was a much better passer before.
But Nelson, I'm looking at the eye test, bro. Like, I'm
looking at the eye test too. You're forgetting the Liverpool game. You're forgetting the West Ham game. You're forgetting multiple times he used to lock up people. Like, I'm genuinely saying this. I think people forgot how good Kobe was before Amram.
I did.
Yeah, people.
I presumed that he had no ability to change his approach to being a midfielder. I presumed he was only a connector, only a shuttler, but with more stability. I think it's a system diagnosis.
No, I was getting to that. So my point is, it's a dual thing. One is I objectively think Kobe's reading of the game defensively specifically has improved, because he doesn't vacate his position as often as I used to see him.
Did you see how he was the cover defending, the cleanup defending against, was it Solanke? Or it was one player where he just went like bosh right into him. We didn't see that.
I'm telling you, against City, if I take you guys back 4 weeks ago, there was a time in the first half when Doku got the ball at the edge of the box and he had a chance to do the Morgan Rogers finish at the top of the box, but Kobe shuttled across to stop Doku from getting there. And I bring that up as the perfect example because it shows me 2 things. One, Kobe's become a little better defensively in the time under Amram, and 2, we're giving him lesser spaces to cover now because of the compact system, which is making him look a better defensive player. And the same thing has happened to Casemiro as well. Casemiro hasn't just gone like, leaps and bounds. It's just the fact that we're asking him to cover a little bit less. So even mentally, right, he's not panicked. He's not like, oh my God, I got to cover for Bruno in a 2-man midfield. Instead, now he's thinking, okay, I've got Dallo available. I've got Ahmad available, who's a better defensive player. I've got all these other players that are available to cover for me as well. And actually, in the Tottenham game, I saw Casemiro be further forward than Kobe most of the game. Oh, yeah. Kobe was the guy who was actually sitting back and being the connector.
Kobe's the only one that provides us rest defense with his ball retention. And I think that's his biggest defensive contribution that he could give to the team currently, is when we do get the ball back, that he gives us that rest. He could turn and not lose the ball and find a short pass. I don't need Kobe to spray the ball 90 yards every game, right? Like, I just need him to do what he's been doing because it's helping the whole team defensively. It's giving us rest. We're getting to retain the ball. He's not losing. Like, I haven't seen him lose possession in 5 games.
No.
Whenever there's somebody on his back, he's not losing.
Highlight once on Semenyo, the other time on Paulinho, where gets the ball and in half of a second has the opportunity to either pass, evade, or do a croqueta. The guy has made highlight reels out of the best players in the world.
He skinned Polina, by the way, like 4 times.
Oh my God. So like this is and this is where I would urge fans that were just as disappointed in his, as you can see, the poster stamps behind Andy's wall. Like we live in not a black and white world. Rooney is one of my favorite players of all time, but Rooney held the club for ransom as well. So many other players have. Ronaldo basically threw his toys out the pram, like waiting to just say, I need to go Real Madrid, sulked. But at the same time, just like we can all be redeemed in different ways, his play on the pitch is the biggest feather in his cap right now. And if we're going to continue to play in this system where he's supported and he's platformed like this, I mean, this is literally like a new signing. I hate to use that phrase, but it feels like
there's only 2 things that can hinder Kobe. One is injuries, because I'm still concerned about the rate at which he picks up injuries. And 2 is how much can he actually take to the defensive reading of the game, like duck to water, like he has been doing in the last few games. Because by the end of the season, if he can maintain this form, that means we approach the market very differently, right? That means Kobe can be one of the starting midfielders for next season, and the next manager can decide what they want to do with him. Now, I don't know how Tuchel feels about him, how Enrique feels about him, etc. But we do need to buy 2 midfielders anyways, like 2 top quality midfielders because of the number of games we're going to have next year. But anyone else already hearing the Champions League anthem?
Yeah,
I am.
Of course.
I've been singing it in the shower. I've been learning more different ways to say champions in different languages. Like it's ours. It's ours to lose. Like there's
one more thing about Kobe, I think people need to stop watching him for creating highlights and start watching him for what he actually brings to the game itself.
Yeah.
That's very hard to bring by a lot of players. And I think that's the main thing. You shouldn't be watching him to, create millions of goal scoring chances. Just look what he does for the players and how much the players on the pitch actually respect what he does.
He's not Bruno. Easy. He's not a traditional number 10. Look at the Barcelona midfields. Look at how Xavi played. Look at how Frankie plays. Look at how these players are like in between those phases. When you don't have someone that is that good on the ball, everyone else looks worse. But when Kobe's on the pitch, ball gets out to Bruno easier. Ball gets protected in front of the defense easier. Somebody screening, shuffling in front of the defense like that gives so much. And especially if we're going to be doing like these rondos, like training drills.
I'll make a claim. If he can figure out his progressive passing, he's a better player than Elliot Anderson.
I 1000% agree with you, and not just because the Instagram likes that we've seen this morning of him on Gahey's post, so we can just write Anderson off. But you're absolutely right. We need to approach the transfer market with the idea that Casemiro is for sure gone. But if we're going to have another competition, we need another top quality midfielder. I think we need to do everything in our power to get Tonali in Old Trafford. And if Anderson's out of the picture, I'm okay with trying to strike our luck between Baleba, which seems to be the easier deal, and Matías Fernandes.
Fernandes is such a good player.
I think Fernandes is your Bruno replacement, in all honesty. Not like for like, but as close as possible, especially given the age profile.
Yeah.
And I also want to touch on Anderson against Kobe. Anderson gets like way more touches on the ball for his team than Kobe does, and they are fucking 17th.
Yeah.
So, for me, he's a recycle merchant in the sense that he keeps the ball very well for his team. But I don't think he's as good as people are saying he is, even though I think he's a great player.
He's not 100 certified. If we're talking like without the World Cup, without all the platforming, if you want to do 80, 70, 60, 80's the Anderson, 70's the Baleba, 60's the Warden. And even that's too high for everyone.
No, so I've been early on the Anderson hate, if you will. That's what people will call me. Because I've been saying from before, like a long time ago, that his stats for Forest will not be replicated wherever he goes, because he is going to go to a better team, which means he's going to look like a worse player, and that's already telling you that you should take 20 million off his price tag. For me, Anderson doesn't have anything that is je ne sais quoi, that Baleba has. Baleba has the elite like physicality So it's a much higher ceiling with Baleba is what I see. And even Baleba I would price at around 70, 80 million. So for me, Anderson is at best the same price as Baleba. Otherwise, you're just paying the English tax. You're paying the white boy tax. I don't know what it is. Like whatever.
Guys, we're getting very fortunate in the transfer market because we're failing upwards with our missed targets, so to say. Like if we looked across the board, let's say Wilcox got his way and let's say we won last year in Bilbao. Imagine us lining up with Delap and maybe Gyökeres in the Champions League.
Okay? He needs to be fired for the Delap, him being so adamant on Delap.
Delap is crazy.
He needs to be fucking in prison.
That's horrible. So it's still fuck Wilcox till further notice, guys. Don't worry. And then we're looking at, Cunha and Bumo. What can you say? Those guys are awesome. But we would have gone for Emi Martinez had we given it to Amram. And I still think we should get a better keeper if we're going to really be challenging for the title. But I'll be honest, like Sene has like made me a believer. That guy is so solid, so consistent. Like you need a boring keeper. You need somebody that brings that stability. Because we got Bayindir over there serving donors and throwing the ball in the back of the net. Like, what the hell is that?
His composure, though. Sene Lamont's calmness and composure at that young age in the Premier League is what impresses me the most. Because you can't teach that.
Can I just say, we couldn't have gotten a more opposite keeper to Andre Onana in every single way. Because Onana liked to make you uncomfortable. Right. And like, I want a keeper that makes the opposition uncomfortable. Onana made us uncomfortable. He made the players uncomfortable. Everybody was uncomfortable.
So what we got Onana for, Lamens is doing better than Onana was doing with the distro and the simple passes to the center backs and to the midfielders. And his clearances,
and two-footed, surprisingly two-footed.
Yeah. And those low, the goal kicks that he does, not the set goal kicks, but like when they pass the ball back to him. And he does those low ones to the midfield where he actually gives Mbumo a chance. My only concern now is I don't think Mbumo plays tomorrow because of how he was walking out of Old Trafford.
He's on the bus, so he's in the squad. I still think from a hierarchical standpoint, he's our dedicated number one striker. And another thing I got to give Carrick credit for, and something that I'm going to beat Amram with here. I think we went from one of the worst player profiler managers in our history to the best. This guy has realized that Mbumo's kind of wasted out on the right. And as a channel runner and as a secondary striker almost, and because he likes to drift over to that left-hand side to get that cross-body finish. We've seen that so many times. Mbumo is just so clinical. I've had issue. Still think Mbumo has another level to go, and he's still getting this output. So getting Mbumo into the primary position to score goals for us, he's the best goal scorer at our club right now, full stop. So
but I do think AFCON is catching up to him, though, with his legs right now.
For sure. But I'm just saying, positionally, putting him as the sole striker, people are saying, oh, you're not going to have Šeško. I still want Šeško long-term to be our number one striker. But in the meantime, and if you even look positionally, like at the average positions, like even though Cunha's on the left, him and Mbumo are like stacked almost like a 4-4-1-1. Like they're playing in the same area. So losing that rigidity of saying left 10 plays here, right 10 plays here, strikers plays here. We're getting Cunha's best. You had not Michael Edwards. Who's the guy that was the Wolves coach? O'Neill. He said that when Cunha gets into that area right in front of where he scored against Gabriel, he's got that. That's like a layup for him. And you see him just curling that shot. Conversely, when Mbumo goes in from right to left or center mid, the center to that left-hand channel, that's his bread and butter. So all Carrick is doing is making sure they have less room to run to those places rather than saying, here's my system. You have to go here, try to get to those points. But my preferred way of scoring are cutbacks or this. So that's one of the benefits I'm going to give to Carrick here. He's made the game so much simpler and he's profiling the players so much better.
And the beauty, what you just described, is also Bruno Fernandes making the striker runs. And I completely missed that under Amrin. Like one of the best creator and goal scorer in our team also is Bruno. Yeah. And it was over there playing closer to defense than attack.
In the league. One of the best in the league.
Yeah. In the world. Like he's playing world class level 10. Like let's not have it be mistaken. If he breaks that assist record, it's not even a question. He will be the best player to potentially not win the league with us. And that's why I'm saying we can't just think about saying, oh, we'll go for Fermin or we'll go for Nico Paz or something. It's like, no, you're still it's still a question mark.
Bro, I keep saying this. I've had this conversation with so many people, Nelson being one of them, while I was still in India. Like we keep saying we can rebuild past Bruno, but we're not realizing how elite this guy is at what he does in any position you put him in. You know who he reminds me of, actually? Wayne Rooney was a lot like this. You put him anywhere on the pitch, like even in goal, he would play well, right? And Bruno Fernandes is that guy. And his problem is that he doesn't have the aesthetic finesse that someone like KDB has, right? Because KDB, the way he could strike the ball, it would be very cute, right? Very much like, you'll never see Fernandes score the Payet type of free kick, right? The one where he flicked it to the top corner. So Bruno will always get shit on in that sense, right? At the very top conversation, nobody will say he's as good as KDB. But for me, honestly, with him playing double the amount of games that KDB plays, give me Bruno any day over KDB.
And the minutes and the work rate, and people are forgetting, Kevin Bassey was subbed in and got skinned by Bruno on fresh legs.
Calvin Bassey, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
He's Kevin for further notice.
For me, it's Kevin.
he's amalgamated the Brazilian Kevin and Calvin.
But he's fast. He's strong. Bassey's a very good player. Yeah. And he got skinned by Bruno Fernandes. What was it, the 86th minute or something? After Bruno already ran the most on the pitch.
No, it was a 92nd. It was 6 minutes extra time. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is he's an anomaly. Never gonna be able to replace him fully, 101-to-1. There's no like for like replacement for Bruno Fernandes.
And also, it's a shame that we're comparing KDB to Bruno like for like, because as a deeper playmaker, Kevin De Bruyne clears him. But as a 10, I would still take Bruno. I think Bruno has more.
But the comparison is unfair. Even though I'm saying it with chest, it's unfair because Bruno has not even played with like 30-40% of the team that Man City has been in Kevin De Bruyne's prime. Yeah. And the biggest prime that they had, which is 4 in a row, KDB was there for all of it, right?
But not to take anything away from KDB, because I know Nelson is foaming at the mouth because I've said it, like I prefer Bruno over KDB in terms of player quality. But in that one season that he had, all those assists, what was it, Nelson? The 1920 season? Yeah, that's a season that should go down in Premier League history, like one of the best seasons by a midfielder. I just think Bruno has been very unfortunate, kind of like what Rashford has said.
Like the best season by a midfielder, unfortunately, is Yaya Toure.
Yeah, Toure, the 20-9, the perfect season.
Yeah, that is from a deep-lying midfielder. You will never see that again.
That's in my opinion, that's the best midfield one season.
Yep.
But I still
we're getting a little extreme.
I don't want to talk about City players. Yeah. That's why I'm quiet. By the way, I'm quiet because I want to hear the Bruno. Bruno's the best.
Toure also played center forward that season as well for them.
Nope.
He wasn't just deep lying.
That season in Cannes, he played the number 10, and most of the season he played as number 10. In the 13-14 season when he scored 20 goals.
It was Silva ahead of him.
Most of that season in number 10.
Was David Silva ahead of him? He played midfield.
David Silva played left wing in that season. I remember that season very well. It was the first one after
there was one season that Silva was, that Rishi's right, dedicated left wing.
Yeah.
Guys, can we talk about Mbeumo for a second? I want to get Rishi's thoughts on this. I was listening to what Shant was saying about Mbeumo, and just using my mind's eye from the games that I've watched, not actual footage. I've noticed that he is more leaning towards the left-hand side of the pitch as the left striker almost, even though we're playing with the one striker. And I looked at the pass networks on XG stat, and looks like against Tottenham and against Fulham, he's slightly off to the left, right? And in both games, it's Bruno also stepping up Cunha, stepping up to the left-hand side. And them playing very close to each other in terms of an average position. So, Rishi, what have you seen in terms of, you could argue that both Mbeumo and Cunha were favorites of Amorim, right? What have you seen that Carrick has done to get even more out of them in the last few games? Or do you even think do you even agree with that hypothesis?
I think these guys are excellent finishers of the ball. And I think the difference you're seeing is that Cunha has actually come to the party now properly. In terms of Mbumo, I don't see, I mean, maybe this is a limitation in my viewing of the game, but I don't see anything that he's done remarkably better than what he was doing under Amarim. He was just as clinical a finisher, and he was a great runner. He wasn't getting enough shots, in my opinion. I think it's the same now. He's not getting enough shots off. A clinical finisher like that, we should be creating more. And I think I'm actually worried about the West Ham game a little bit, not because of what West Ham pose as a threat, as an opposition, but against Spurs, right, we seem to lack a bit of imagination in those first 30, 35 minutes till Romero was on the pitch. Only after they went down to 10 men did the game get easier for us. Otherwise, they were on the, like you could say, it was neck and neck, and they were inching ahead of us. The passing wasn't crisp. The guys looked like they were short of ideas, which happens, I guess, if you started the game with the same 11 more or less for 4 consecutive games. There's going to be some sort of lack of imagination or mental fatigue or whatever you call it. So in terms of Mbumo, I think, see, I honestly don't know what to make. I saw your video today. It was an excellent video, but it is still a very short sample size. And what I see is the players are playing with a lot more freedom, and they are deciding a lot of the things, right? They've been given a template to play with, and then the players are making up their mind, like the quick 1-2s, right? No matter how much you practice, and even the rondo that is practiced in the game, it is to improve, in training, it is to improve your imagination and improve your reflexes and improve your technical side of the game. It is not to, set these patterns, because in the game, you don't know where which player is going to be where and how far the player is going to be. So I see it, even going back to what Bruno said in the post-match interview. He said we have the freedom and we have more responsibility. So I see it as the players deciding the best, they're taking the best decisions, they're being set up in a shape, and based on that, they're taking their decisions. Now, an approach like this comes and hits a ceiling, right? And it's about one bad day where things are not coming off. And that's what I was worried about against Spurs. We were very lucky to get the red card, because I shudder to think what would have happened. It could very well have been like a 1-1 draw, right?
With the Tottenham game, the worry for me would have been more about us getting a draw than a loss, because I didn't really
Which is what I said. I thought it was heading towards a 1-1 game.
Yeah. So I think in my opinion with Mbumo, I think he's doing a lot of the selfless work for the team right now. And the striker position has been a graveyard shift for United for like the last 10 years. I don't even know. The last time a striker really thrived was probably Ronaldo, and it came at the cost of some of the other players because everyone was trying to create so much for Ronaldo, right? So I think that's what's happening a little bit for Mbumo. But again, it's been 4 games under Carrick. So I do think that there is some time to go for everybody to figure out their thing. If there's one thing I am worried about from what I've seen under Carrick is when we have both our midfielders step forward to press, because I saw that under against Tottenham as well. Both Casemiro and Menu were stepping out, and Ahmad and Cunha, I guess, were staying back, or whoever it was on the left and right were staying back in the 4-4-2, and that was leaving some space in the middle for the other team to exploit. But maybe, Ash, I know I brought you in super late into the stream here, and we're kind of looking to close things off here. But what do you think is going to happen tomorrow against West Ham? What's your score prediction? You guys get us started.
I'm hoping for more of the same. I see let's say the freedom tactic, while it works, let's get it to work. Let's get the results under the belt as much as we can. I think we will get found out against a team that will figure out the tactics and will manage to exploit the shortcomings. But for what concerns tomorrow, I didn't check West Ham's record yet, but I think they are not doing super great from what I've seen.
Overall, they're not doing too great, but the last
Mhm.
5 games they have 4 wins.
Okay, so they are a team on the up then, which
Yeah.
means it's I agree with you. It's a tricky assignment.
Since Amarim got sacked, they are 4th in the form table.
Okay, then yeah, it's clearly it's going to be a tricky assignment for us. That being said, I hope the momentum keeps us going. That's my prediction. The only concern I have based on the game from Tottenham is the minutes that Casemiro has under his belt. I think he's going to feel that tomorrow, because it's a very short turnaround between Saturday and tomorrow. So I think it comes down to how long he keeps it. He can keep himself competitive on the pitch. If not, we are looking at Ugarte, and we all know how that goes generally when it comes to him taking pressure at the pivot.
Mhm.
My guess, let's say, my best prediction is a 1-goal win. I think it could be 2-1 for us. But then it comes down, like with Tottenham, to how well we respond to going down. Because we are perfectly capable of having periods where we concede 1 goal and then 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and before you know it, it's gone out of hand. That being said, I hope it's not the case tomorrow, and my best guess is 2-1 for United.
All right. Let's go to AUN.
So, like, I understand the worries that you guys bring up against West Ham and all of that, but I look at this. There's a team that is building momentum, which is when we are on top of our game, we can be deadly. And this team is playing more now. They're not afraid of losing anymore. They're more like they want to win, keep momentum of this win, and continue to win and push themselves as high as they can go on the table. And that's a little bit more dangerous of a team. And I think, like, as good as West Ham has been throughout of this run they have played, one they play or like a championship or a League Two team, and like maybe the only strong team they played was Chelsea. Tottenham they're
Well,
garbage.
Sunderland's a good team.
Sunderland, like, lately hasn't been the team that we played earlier. So West Ham they're all right, and we shouldn't take any Premier League team lightly. That should be the given for every Premier League team. We do not have the luxury to take any team lightly. So every game is serious, no matter which form they're in. So that I'm not too worried about what West Ham would do, and I'm more worried about, like, can we continue our momentum? Can we go into this game and still show the composure in possession that we showed? Can we still hit people on counterattack if we need to? And can we still, like, press them and not leave ourselves open to Somerville counterattack? And that's the only weapon I can only envision from them is the Somerville counterattack, and that's it. So this is just about us keeping our composure and knowing that no matter what, we're going to score a goal. And if we get one, we're going to get a second one. So this whole game is all about us. And to address, like, the freedom comment, like, when people say he has a ceiling, is with a lower, like, with players that don't have the quality. Yes, freedom has a ceiling. But you're talking about a player like Bruno Fernandes, you're talking about Mbremo, Ahmad. The ceiling is way higher than that, because it's not saying you have freedom to do whatever you want in the field. It said you have the freedom to know which pass to make and that come. The more you know what your teammates are going to do, the more you realize, hey, I know where Bruno's going to run. I'm going to find him. That's the freedom they're talking about. It's not like we have Pacific pattern to follow in order to get goals. It's more like once you get to the final third, what you do with there is up to you. The same thing. Pep Guardiola practiced that. He say, I'll get you guys to a certain point. After that, what you do in the final third is up to you.
And we could do predictions for the rest of the games in the league now. I mean, at this point,
give us your score prediction.
For me, it's gonna be 3-0. Comfortable win, 3-0.
Who's scoring?
Mbremo is gonna score. Ahmad is due for a goal, and Bruno Fernandes score again.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Easy Win Nelson.
You guys have been talking bullshit this whole time. I've just been quiet. West Ham's an easy win. They're one of the worst teams in terms of discipline. They've got 3
Anyone
red
just
cards.
gave us a thesis.
Yeah,
brother. He
like,
just told us
it's-
easy win. Come on.
Yeah, it's an easy win. Like it's
Yeah, come
this
on.
is like 3-1. They might score 1 goal. I'll give you that. We're not that like rock solid to not concede one, but 3-1 easy.
All right, Ryan. Or sorry, Ed.
Sheshko sucks. Just Brexit.
I think some of the best football we've played is when we've gone
Yeah.
down a goal. This since Carrick took over, if you guys have noticed, anytime we got scored on, we score like within 10 minutes again.
Yeah.
10-15 minutes, we'll pin
Wait,
one back.
have we? Wait, hold on. Have we gone down a goal in any of the
Oh,
games?
even when we get
Arsenal.
scored on. Even when we get
We
scored on.
went down.
Yeah.
We went down
Yeah.
against
Reaction
Arsenal.
When we
the
get
goals,
scored
like
on,
you're
saying.
we have sense
Oh,
of
shit,
urgency,
we
which
did,
is the
yeah.
main thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 4-0 victory.
Yeah.
With Sheshko
Alright.
scoring 1, Cunha 1. I think Case Myro scores 2 goals.
Okay. Okay. What are we saying, Sean?
Yeah, it's a lot of just like worry for no reason. And by the way, Rishi, I'll go back to that Tottenham game. We were controlling that game. We had like 10 shots like in that right before the Romero red card. We had Casemiro, Mbumo, Cunha. Like we were really pushing on the door. So to not retcon that, back to this West Ham game, they're going to be playing a midfield of Susek, Potts, or Matheus Fernandes. Like that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Nuno says, I'm not going to say who's injured. I don't know if it's mind games, but they still got to line up with Disasi, Kilman, or Mavropanos. Dude, they don't have the capability of handling all of our channel runners and everything. The only concern is quick turnaround. If the game is nervy and Casemiro has to go off and you have Ugarte, I could see the nerves pushing in, but this is going to be easily 3-0, could even be 4-1.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys a slightly different perspective and then give my score prediction. Because you could say, what happens in the City game if Dallo gets sent off, right? You could say, right? Like, how does the City game go if Dallo gets sent off for that tackle? Which we've seen, let's say, the Romero tackle was similarly reckless, I would say. Maybe Romero had a bit more, force into it because he was really going at pace. And then in the Arsenal game, if we don't score those worldies, what happens? If Sheshko doesn't get the last minute winner against Fulham, what happens, right? So there's a lot of these games where instead of going through the difficult phase in a game or having things go against us, things have really gone for us. Even in the Tottenham game, we got another red card, right? And that, let's say, simplified things a little bit for us. So is there a chance that we go into a game against a Premier League team and things go against us? The question is, how do we react to that? Because we're all predicting game states that are easy, and in easy game states, every team can win the game. So that would be my only concern, and I don't think this is going to be a given. I think this could be another game where we need a stoppage time winner, and I'm all here for it because this is, like I said, a Premier League team. All of these guys that we're saying are not good enough, Mavropanos, Disasi, all of these guys can turn up, play the game of their lives, and we're going to be sitting here wondering what happened. So I still think it's going to be a 2-1, but I don't think it's like 3-0, 4-0 type of victories. Although, I would love for that to happen.
I would rather take a draw. I would rather take a draw in this match because I want to see how this team reacts to like a stop in momentum. Because if we have to find out what this manager is like and what this team is like, I would rather us find out right now than having to, like under Oli, right? We won 14 games and drew 5 in the first 19, and then we lost to PSG. And then we won the reverse fixture, and then we won 2 out of the next 10 in the league. And that kind of euphoria just came down crashing. So if we have to, and Oli just couldn't find a solution to that, and neither could Carrick. Like he was part of the coaching team, right?
Yeah.
So
And I know everyone is matured now and they become better, but I kind of want to see what happens. And obviously, as a United fan, I would love us to win. But if you have to give me an option to figure out what the possible roadblocks can come, because it's still a long way to go in the season. We still have 12 games to go after tomorrow. So if there is a problem that we have, I want to find the solution as soon as possible.
I'm
And
going to be
it's not
honest.
the
I
end of
think
the world,
Rishi's
I think.
saying more of that because he wants the haircut guy to suffer for longer.
I was just gonna say. I
No,
thought it
no,
was gonna
fuck
be
that guy.
tied to
Fuck that guy. I couldn't give two
fucking guy.
shits about that guy. That
no,
guy
but
wants to
you
get his
say
hair
that, but
cut
you
on
made
the
the comment
pitch.
earlier in the stream about him. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hear you.
but yeah, but
I
yeah,
hear
but
you. I hear
really,
you,
fuck
yeah.
that guy, because I don't care about him in the serious terms, because that guy has gone on record and said that he wants to get his haircut in the middle of the pitch, and he wants the team to be around him. So it's gone to his head at this point. So I don't give two shits about him.
But we've
You know,
had
let
we've
him
had
make
draws
money.
like that
do
already,
this
though.
though.
We've
Yeah.
had draws like that already. We've already went through
Yeah.
that this season. Earlier in
don't-
the season.
I think
We
he's talking
shouldn't
about that
with the
under
same
Carrick.
players.
He wants to see how
I-
Carrick's system reacts.
Yeah,
to,
I want to see
a
before
pause
we
and
descend
momentum.
into euphoria and we
So-
start giving out, put the contract on the table. I want to see
Oh, I'm not
everything.
saying
Like,
put the
he-
contract on the
I want
table.
to kick the tires, right? Like I want to kick the tires. I want to see how it responds to a pothole.
It's not about you saying that, Ed. It's actually generally the whole fan base, right? Because a lot of what has happened is essentially, I don't even care about who the manager is. I think we're putting way too much stock into this set of players because we'd all agree, as good as the players have shown themselves to be, they're not a set of players that can win 38 games a season. Because that's the kind of form that we're showing right now. Like every test that's coming our way, we're passing that test. And so is this a situation of us not having written harder exams, or is this a situation of us actually being that good?
Andy, what I'm getting confused at is we came from a period where we weren't winning, and the guy turned it around. It's not that we don't know that this guy can't do it. He already did.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second part is we need to gain as much points as possible. We have Villa coming. We have these games that we will definitely drop points. By the way, it's going to happen. It's insane that I want us to beat teams like West Ham. We have a bad record against them. We need to beat them. I don't want to
Especially
say
if they're injury-ridden.
it's
but
crazy.
the point is that it could happen tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The draw or the loss could happen tomorrow, and we can't really be here expecting us to be like Prime City that won 4 titles
At
in a
the
row.
same token, the momentum thing that Rishi was talking about, that will occur naturally because we have 2 weeks after this game. So any type of momentum we build from players playing together for a long period of time, that's got to reset naturally due to the space between the games. So I still want 3 points. I don't think you don't want 3 points. We need to see them. We just need to see more data over a period of time. How these guys reacting to more low block teams, more middle phase counter pressing. What variety do we see in Carrick's system? But so far, what we've extrapolated, I mean, we're gonna we're going for a title charge, baby.
We're win the league, 82
So,
points, baby.
So
I'm with
I
that.
listen to Andy Mitten because Andy Mitten, when it comes to information by United, they tend to be correct. Like from the last podcast he did with his crew, he said something that stuck with me that I actually didn't think about. He said that Carrick has not put his hat in the table yet to be considered for the full-time job.
Yep.
So if that's the case, I don't want any hiccup. I want Foot to be on the gas, on that pedal, and just go until we reach the Champions Leagues. I don't care if I don't want to see how they react at all. I'm just win, and continue to win until we reach our objective, which is Champions League.
Yeah.
So I don't want
whoever's in the dugout, I want them to get 3 points every single weekend. Let's not
Exactly.
be, we're United fans, so it's not that. But we're saying, how does this team react? Let's say in different game states. If there's going to be times where we go down in a game, there's going to be times when that's just reality. Like the players are not going to be playing as well. We want to see how they react. And
Speaking of game states and speaking of West Ham, I would love to see a win like Chelsea won against West Ham, right? Where we're down 2-0 in the first half and we score 3 to come back and win it, because that's something we haven't seen yet. And that would also be equivalent to us learning something like that from a draw or a loss, right? I would still love to see that, because that is still us losing a first half, which I don't believe we've done yet under Amram. So that's going to be interesting. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We've gone 15 over, but great panel today. Thank you guys all for joining, and the viewers as well. We had, a bit of a lull since I was in India, but we're picking it back up now. Hope you guys are enjoying the produced videos as well. I was supposed to do one today, but some work came up, so I'll see if I have time later in the day as well. But I'm really enjoying the content, man. I'm really enjoying making it. I'm really enjoying the community as well. So thank you guys all for tuning in. We
Like
get
the
your
stream,
score
guys, on your
predictions
way
down in the
out.
comments below. What's that, Rishi?
Like the stream on your way out.
Yeah, like the stream on your way out, guys, and drop your score predictions in the comments down below. See you guys next time. Peace.
Bye bye.
Later.